Today we'll be considering the continuation of our data management and information business strategies. Last week was really insightful. We had our trainer take us through a lot on data. So today we have our seasoned trainer, I call him seasoned trainer. We have Mr. Olugbenga Ajewole. So please let's all appreciate Mr. Olugbenga as he takes over the class. Mr. Gbenga, are you there with us?
Yes, please, can you hear me?
Yes, you're loud and clear, sir.
Amazing. Thank you.
So please, you can take over the class as I unshare my screen.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to today's class.
Good morning,
I
sir.
am happy to be here. I hope we are as well. Right? Are we?
Yes.
Anybody? Okay. Micah, okay. All right. Good morning. Amaka Iyasara. Did I get that correctly? Iyasara. Is that right? Okay. Let me start by sharing my screen. All right. Let me know if you can see my screen. Yes.
It's black.
I'm currently sharing the Teams meeting. I'm currently on the Teams meeting. Okay. Hello, Lawa Dalami from Sokoto. It is nice to meet you. It's nice to be on the call with you this fine morning. All right. All right. Uh, my name is Olugbenga Ajewole, and I'll be your trainer for this section. Data is something amazing. It's data. Data. It's everywhere, everywhere. Right. Now we'll be looking at data management practices and frameworks. All right. That's what we'll be looking at today. And why is data important to businesses? Why is data? Why do we have to manage data? What is data itself? Right. So I'd like someone, sorry. So I'd like someone to just unmute their mic and then just give me anything they know about data, any idea at all. If you have any idea whatsoever what data is, you can just you can unmute your mic
Good
and tell me.
morning.
Hi, good morning.
My name is Ifeanyi. Data are a collection of raw facts that requires further processing.
So if I want to say before you answer the question, please do me the honor of changing your name on the Zoom. It's your name is HP here, so I don't want to address you as HP, please. Thank you so
My
much.
name is what?
Your name is showing HP on the screen right now on the Zoom.
Okay.
Yes, please do me the honor of changing it to your real name so that I can call upon you anytime, if that's okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much.
It's
All
all
right,
right.
so you said something. You said data is what?
Data are a collection of raw facts that needs to process further before use.
Collection of raw files. Okay, can you just let's say the grammar is too big for a kindergarten student, right? Can you just break it down, like take it to the layman We don't want the
Yeah.
big grammars. We don't want the English
There are
definition.
facts that needs to. There are facts that needs to be. There are all facts that needs to be processed further before a
Okay.
user could understand them.
Okay. Now, can you take it to a scenario based? Maybe the fact that you mentioned is still, I can still comprehend what you mean. So take it to scenario based explanation. Just cite an example with a real life thing or anything you can think of.
Okay. For instance, for instance, calculated further, or a figure.
Okay.
Could be a figure, say 1, 2, 3. Could be a calculation, for instance, 4 plus 4.
Okay.
It could be someone's name or an
Okay.
address. Yeah.
All right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. From the definition to the explanation to scenario based, you did amazingly well. Amazing. Thank you so much for that. Right. Let me just
Thank you.
build on what sorry, I've forgotten your name. So what's the name again? So just help me to change your name so that I can look at it and remember. Okay, from what he said, he made mention of data being a raw file that needs to be processed. That's not a lie. That's like the truth. That's like the truth about data. Data is everywhere. One thing you have to know about data, it is everywhere. So I wanted him to cite a scenario based on what we are doing right now in the class that we have right now. Right now, I'm sharing data to you. Do you believe that? What we're doing right now, we being on the call, you at the receiving end, right? Me, I'm speaking. Whatever I'm saying, the things I'm saying out right now, they are data to you. You're collecting data, all right? You're accumulating data, all everything I'm given, right? Earlier, when I shared my screen, the Teams meeting, or if you go into the chat room, and then you will see what to call, you will see a link. If you scroll up, I believe when I join the group, automatically there is an AI that I already tagged that whatever group I join, it should join with me so that it can take note of whatever I'm saying, right? So at the end of the class, it will generate me a summary and whatsoever, whatnot, right? Everything is trying to collect are data. It's trying to accumulate that data into a file. So according to what HP said, HP, please change your name, please. According to what it said, right? It said they are raw files. All right. Currently, whatever I'm saying now are raw files. They are just coming out. Now, you are the receiving end. That's where we'll go. I don't want to touch on information yet, right? But it seems I need to touch on it so that you can fully grasp what data is. All right. Data itself is useless. When you have a data, it is useless. All right. If I give you the letter 42, what does 42 mean? The number 42 rather. What does 42 mean? Anybody? So 42 can mean different thing, like let's say a number. 42 can mean a letter. It can be 42 in letters, right? That is data. I haven't given a more context for it to suit the position of information, right? Let's say I give you 16, right? Or let me use for an example. I give you number 7. I put number 7 at the back, right? I wrote number 7, and then you'll be like, okay, what does number 7 mean? Until I give it much context, that's when you can really decode what number 7 mean. I mean, number 7 can mean a number, a letter. It can even mean C Ronaldo. C Ronaldo figure, right? Is a number, right? So so it can mean a lot of things, like different thing entirely. But until I now say, oh, do you know that C Ronaldo wear number 7? That is where I pass a full context of data and which interpret as information. It is not raw now. Number 7 is not raw anymore. There is more context to it. I've given you more information, more words that support that data to make it an information, right? So raw data, let me say the number 16 I'm using for an example, until I give you that the 16 I'm talking about is a temperature measured in Celsius, right? That's when you now take your mind to, oh, AC, oh, this, oh, maybe it is the weather condition right now, is this and is that. All right. So that is more of information. It is now you have a data, you can't make sense of the data. Those are raw data. When you have a data, like what I'm doing right now, whatever I'm saying right now, if maybe paraventure we have someone on the call that cannot process the data well, that cannot say, okay, data is certain things, they have not turned it to an information in their mind. To them now, it is just raw data. Whatever I'm saying right now, it's just raw data to them. They're like, okay, what is this trying to say? What was the information he's trying to pass? Right? But until they can now, maybe with the context, with everything, with the scenario based and everything I'm trying to say right now, right? That is when they can now go ahead and fully assimilate it or take it in as an information. I hope this makes sense. Please, I would love us to like unmute our mic at every turn if we are permitted. If you're in a place you can unmute your mic, I'll be very happy to hear uh live response. Right? I'll be happy to hear live response. So I hope that's okay.
Yes, yes, Mr. Gbenga, that's fine. Please, you can go ahead to mute at intervals if you need to speak.
Okay. All right. Do we get the concept? Do we understand the concept? Because we cannot move forward if we don't understand what data is, what information is, right?
We do.
Do we understand that? Amaka, I saw you unmuted your mic, but I could not process what you're saying.
I said we do understand the process. We understand what you're saying. We
All right,
understand what
amazing.
data is and what information is.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right. So now let's take it to another life scenario that I just thought of right now, right? Is there any time or any point in time you're just having a conversation with your friend, like, and I want to buy, maybe let's say for an example, you want to get, maybe you have sorry, a favorite song that your friend was listening to, and then you're just around the corner and then you hear the song, you're like, wow, I love this song so much, what is the name of the song? And then they tell you, this song is Whiskey song, for an example. Let's just, I'm trying to paint a scenario. This song is Whiskey song, and it's a fine song. This is the title, this is the name of the artist, and all of that. They give you a data why, having a conversation with your friend. So on your way home, you were not even interested in looking for the song, right? But you showed interest in, okay, I like the song. You just collected the data, right? You collected the information. You collected the data. I'm going somewhere. I don't want to miss information with data right now. So you collected the data, but you've not worked on it. You've not processed that data, like processing in the sense that you're typing it on the internet to look for the artist name and song to really know what's going on. All right. And then you're just on maybe browsing through YouTube one day, and not even one day, maybe on your way home. Okay, on your way home, you left that friend, you're on your way home, and then YouTube brought the what's it called? They brought a suggestion of that particular song to you. Or maybe it has happened to you. Maybe you're trying to look for a particular spoon. You saw a spoon and then you're like, ah, wow, I love this type of spoon or plate or anything at all, right? On the internet, right? And then you're just on the internet. Maybe you saw it real life or you're talking about it real life, and then you're just on the internet. The next thing you saw, they are bringing advertisement based on that particular thing you saw. Has it ever happened to you? Has all of that ever occurred to you before? Have you ever been in that situation? Anybody? And you're
Yes.
like, right? So
Yes,
you're
it
like,
has.
yeah. You're like, these people, they are using what's it called? They are listening to us. The government is. I mean, have you ever? Because you see those kind of scenario, you might doubt whatever it comes. You'd be like, I really, no, I can't believe it. I was just thinking about this thing right now, right here. Why? And all of that, right? And it is not a magic, right? The internet, you at some point using particular application, you've given allowance to for the application to listen to your mic, to use your mic, right? Because our phones have mic. Do you understand? So while you're using the application, in configuring the application, maybe you're accepting everything. When you downloaded the application, you say accept certain things, and then you click on accept without actually reading what you're accepting, right? So you've allowed that application to use your mind. So let's say, for instance, the music thing I talked about, Spotify right now is listening to whatever I'm saying, right? I believe maybe after this class, it might be bringing Whiskey song as a recommendation for me, right? Based on what I just, repeatedly say. So now that is how companies collect data. Company like Spotify, YouTube, and the likes. That's how they collect data, right? They cannot. They can collect data through some certain means, but then we'll get to it in the later class, right? So that is data. They collect that data. Now they will now throw or recommend that certain data to you. All right. If you now go ahead and say, wow, I love it, and then you click on that particular ad or on that particular suggestion, on that particular recommendation, you clicked on it and you start listening to that song, it turns to an information to them. It information telling them that you love this particular song. So later in the future, we are going to recommend the same type of song to you. All right. So that is information, that is data being processed to information with large companies, large organization. Oh, is this the same for everybody? Am I cracking?
Yes, you that with you.
Not really. I think it's okay for now.
Okay. All right. Please let me know at every turn. So you can unmute your mic and let me know, please. I'm begging. I might not be on the chat section to read the messages, so I might have missed that. Thank God I'm here to read it. All right. So yeah, that is that. That is that. Let's not dwell much. And there is much to to explore. Right. Let's not dwell much on what data is, what information is. I believe we can still see my screen. I believe we can still see it. Right.
Yes, you can see your screen.
All
Please,
right.
can you make it presentation mode?
All right. Thank you so much for that. Okay. Is that good?
Or we can see it in presentation mode.
Okay. Uh, Actually, I want to be able to navigate to. Is it better? Is it like, can you see it? Because I want to really be able to navigate. I can just go on to the next by clicking here and there. But if it is a problem that we can't see much, I will understand. But if you can see it as of right now, and right,
Oh, okay, okay, that's fine then. Yes,
all right.
sir.
I want to be able to navigate like most of these things now. Right now, we've talked about raw data and information. Right now, we'll talk about big data. Right. So let's talk about big data. Now we know raw data, that is data itself. Now, when we now say big data, right now, with the amount of interaction we are going to be having on the call, I don't think we'll, if everything is being summed together, right? Maybe my note-taking AI tool, when it sum everything together and I'm trying to download it, I don't think it will enter maybe 20 kilobytes. I don't think so. So we can consider what the conversation we're having right now as a big data. It's just data, right? When we talk about data, we're talking about 500 gig worth of data, 1 terabyte worth of data, 200,000 worth of data, 200,000 gig, terabytes, right? Petabytes and others worth of data. All right. So these are complex and large data requiring specialized processing. Sorry. Let me take that again. Sorry. So big data are complex large data sets requiring specialized processing. So companies like Facebook, like um OpenAI are the one that are in charge of the model that ChatGPT uses as of right now, right? Companies like that, they don't just train their AI based on, okay, AI, I think you should do like this, I think you should do like this. No, they are data being collected. There are certain data that have been collected over time till the age of we using Wikipedia, right? To the age of we going to the internet to use Wikipedia, data has been collected, right? To the Google, you're trying to search something on Google, data is being collected. There are different what to call browsers out there. There's Mozilla, so just imagine billions, trillions of everyone in the world trying to access the internet at the same time, putting in data. Imagine the amount of data per seconds that we're inputting. So these data, in some sense, are being used to train the model. All right, that's the AI part of things. I just said I should shed light on that. So that's when you see the use of large data. An organization too can have large data. Let's say you have, for an example, let's use Amazon for an example, right? We can all believe that Amazon as a company has a large data set in their disposal as of right now that they can make decision based on, because Amazon is a large organization. It is being recognized worldwide. It is not country biased. You can use Amazon regardless of where you are. You can put in data regardless of where you are, right? Alibaba, as of right now, their data set is said to be over 1 petabyte, right? And let's talk about the life cycle of data. Let's talk about what zettabyte mean, right? Let's talk about data volumes, right? So I will start. Okay, I will start. So from data life cycle in data volume in large storage unit, data start from bit rather. Sorry. So data start from bit, and bit is what, it's just the zeros and ones, right? It is the language that the computer understands. So it's computer that use bits to process its own data, to process whatever it wants to do. I hope we're still following, right?
Yes, I'm with you.
All right. So followed by another unit that we have is byte, right? We've heard of byte before. bytes, like 8 bytes of data. They are like in smaller unit. They are just we don't really get bytes anymore. We only get that when we sometimes back in the days when we're using all this phone. I've forgotten the name of the phone. Symbian phones, yes. Right? Using the use of Symbian phones, then we made use of there's bytes, there's a kilobyte, right? Please go ahead. You can tell me if you other units that we have. We have byte, we have kilobyte. What is the next one? So I want us to follow the um each unit as it comes. The next one will be what? After kilobyte, the next one will be what?
Megabyte,
All right,
gigabyte, gigabyte,
megabyte, gigabyte. All right, that's another one. Gigabyte. What is the other one? Okay, gigabyte. Yes. Another one.
Byte.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't hear that.
Terabyte.
Terabyte. Yes, that is another one. Right? And that is what most of us are really familiar with. That's like the horizon for us. That's like the end of unit for us. So when we talk about zettabyte, you're like, what is zettabyte again? But because there's byte at the end, you'll be like, okay, maybe they are still talking about uh storage unit. Okay. But before zettabyte, we still have other ones. So after terabytes, can anybody think of anyone?
we have petabytes, we
Thank
have
you so much.
exabytes, zettabytes, yottabytes.
Yottabytes. Hello? You said yottabyte.
We have yottabytes, yes. Yottabytes, that's about 1,200 and 1,024 zettabytes, I think.
All right, amazing, right? You don't even need to worry yourself with what petabyte is, what zettabyte is, what yottabyte is, right? One thing you need to worry yourself with is understanding that we have more storage. We have the capacity, like the internet has the capacity to store a lot of data. Right now, my PC, my own computer, right? I'm still using 500 megabytes. 500 gigabytes for my storage. That's what my storage is on. And I've been using this PC for the last 2 years. I still have on a 500 gigabytes. It's not that I don't work, it's not that I don't do a lot of things on the internet. I do. But can I exhaust it? Of course I can. I mean, they are just files I'm putting on it and all of that. So imagine that someone that has 1 terabyte. I believe some of us on our PC we might have 1 terabyte, which is great, right? And just think of another person that will now have petabyte. Petabyte is now 1,000 of terabyte. Do you get that? You're having 1 terabyte in 1,000 places. Imagine that vast amount of data. Okay. Now, after petabyte, we now have what we call exabyte. Exabyte. That's now 1,000 pieces of petabyte. 1,000 units of petabyte. Like petabyte in 1,000 places. Petabyte that is 1,000 places of terabyte. Okay, just imagine how vast amount of data that is going to be. Now we now have zettabyte. Zettabyte that is now 1,000 units of zettabyte, there is 1,000 units of petabyte, there is 1,000 units of terabyte. Right? So I mean, can the world even, can we all in combined, everybody in combined, all of us, we cannot even go close to petabytes that we want to finish 1 petabyte. I mean, what are we putting on the internet? If you have all these movies or the movies in the world on your PC, let's say, I'm going to use PC for an example. If you have all the movies in the world in large files, in their ultimate file, I believe maybe uh yeah, in its sharpest view, if we have it on our PC right now, we cannot, I repeat, we cannot consume 1 petabyte. Those movies cannot, right? That's like the large data center. Now, petabytes, if you're familiar with cloud structure like AWS, Microsoft Cloud, and Google Cloud, and all of that, right? I can tell you vividly that they are still making use of petabyte, right? And people are putting a lot of information on the cloud and all of these things, putting your data on the cloud. You will have OneDrive, you will have Google Cloud, and all of that. You see, even your iPhones, you have you store your pictures on the cloud on iPhones and all of that. All of this information, they still haven't finished the use of petabyte. No matter how large, you're like, I'm using information, I'm using data very well, I'm using all of these things very well. You still haven't actually, explore petabyte. Not to talk of you want to go zettabyte. All right. Is I was still with me.
Yes, sir, with you.
All right, amazing.
Your audio might be breaking because of network. If you can.
Oh, okay. I don't know where my audio broke. So all right, but I believe we understand the concept of zettabyte. We do, I believe.
Yes, we do. We do.
All right, amazing. All right. So now the word data volume in this slide is said to the word data volume is said to we are to expect the word at 200 zettabytes of data. Now, this data we're talking about is the combination of all the datas on the internet, everything, all the datas, all your storage units, everything from every browsers to everybody individually, right? That has ever stored anything on the internet. Now, the word data is expected to be around 200 zettabytes. Okay, so from the Google, who is that? Is someone trying to say something?
You can continue, sir.
Okay, please, guys. I'll really appreciate if you change your name to your real name. If you change the name you have on your Zoom to your real name, that will help me address us very well. And I just saw someone with Infinix Smart 6, so you might want to check that. Right. Okay. So yes, now with that vast amount of data, there need for security. We need to have security. We need to have a way of processing data. We need to have certain things in mind, right? Something has to govern it. We cannot just imagine that all the data that is on the internet right now, right, from the rated inting data to the cybersecurity data, people that are looking for maybe the hackers, right? From the hackers data, they are trying to jailbreak a certain things. They put all of those information online. Now, without governance, anybody can just access the internet and pick that certain thing up off the internet anywhere they want to. But with the governance, with data governance, even you must believe me when I tell you that people that use dark web, they are still under the frame of data governance. So there is a segmented section of the internet called dark web, right? So people that access that you can just see dark web on Google, on google.com or on Mozilla browser, or you're just trying to enter your Safari and then it gives you a suggestion of dark web URL. Now, to use dark web, it has its own certain URL itself. Do you understand? So that is data governance in some sense. There are policies and procedures that governs the use of this certain application, their life cycle, their security, right? You don't want to go and you don't want to access the internet and then all of a sudden you're seeing rated 18. What about the kids, right? What about kids that are just coming up, that are trying to access the internet to get research and all of that? There's a lot of information on the internet. It is the only limitation is our imagination. There are a lot of information on the internet. Everything is out there in the open, right? Just think of anything at all. With the use of AI nowadays, just think of anything, you can bring it to life. Anything at all. Just think, it will happen by thinking alone. Okay, so that's governance. There are policies that governs the use of data, their security. Now, when you're signing up for the class, I believe maybe some of us sign up for this particular class, or we join through the link. So maybe if we join through the link, let me just take us to when we try to sign in ourselves. Let's say you want to sign in yourself to a Zoom meeting, right? They will ask for your name, your email address, your first name and your last name, rather. They will ask for your phone number sometimes, right? All of this data. There are policy that governs it, that once you collect this particular data, it can only appear to the Zoom link creator owner. I mean the Zoom account owner. Another person that is trying to. Someone is there? Is that a question?
No, please continue, sir.
All right. So someone on the internet. So someone on the internet now cannot go into, let's say, the Zoom owner, the Zoom app owner that is requesting for those information. After you fill in your information, now someone as a user cannot now go at the back end. Nobody can access the back end. That's governance. That governs data. Your data is being governed so that there are policies in place so that only the requested or the owner of that Zoom link or the Zoom account is able to access your data. Right? Those are the security in place so that anybody cannot just go on the internet and just get your information directly and message you and they're like, give us $500 billion. Right? So these are security that governs. So that is why data governance is important. When we are working with data, we want to put all of these things in our mind. All right? That's when it calls for governance of data. Now, the essential data management area, we have data governance, we talked about it. Now, the data quality, right? Ensuring accuracy, completeness, and consistency. Okay, in every data, the security and the integrity. Okay, now we'll talk about data integration. Now you're combining data from different sources. That's when we talk about large data, big data set. Okay, I don't think we'll cover data lake here in this section. I believe it's going to be other section. There's what we call data lake, when you're collecting data from different sources, right? Trying to merge everything together to bring out certain information. All right. Don't forget, data itself, it is not an information. They are raw files, they are raw information. Now, whatever I'm saying right now to a 5 years old, will I say 5 years old? Let's say 3 years old. To a 3 years old kid, it is just going to be data, because they can't comprehend it, they can't fathom the idea, they can't bring it to life. Whatever I'm saying about data, they are still new to what the definition of data is. Maybe after explaining all this grammar, all these terminologies we've been saying since morning, they will still need, you breaking certain things down for them. So at some point before you get into this stage, right, you're being fed A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, right, as a letter. Those are data. Now you want to now make sense of that data. Is when you now they take you advanced to maybe, I think, primary 4 in Nigeria. You go to basic 4. Let me use basic 4. I think it should be globally accepted, right? So basic 4. Now getting to basic 4, I don't know, maybe you get to basic 4 before they now teach you how to put all the words together, but just permit me to do that, right? So you get to basic 4, and then they now tell you that A is for apple. Like A, start apple. B is for ball. C is for cat, and all of that, right? Now you can now turn that data, that raw data of A, B, C, D, right? The alphabet letter from A to Z. You can now turn it into data, right? They can now tell you that you can use it to manipulate your name. And instead of, now there's A, those letters, there's A, there's N, there's A, there's K, there's A. All together makes Amaka. Do you get that now? So that is you processing that data to an information-based section. So that's why you can, boldly say, because you now understand that data to the extent that you can use it to manipulate. Whatever I'm saying right now, I'm not even thinking about them. The words I'm saying, I'm not even thinking about them, right? They are just coming out freely because I've been able to, whatever the data is, I've been able to understand it to the extent of interpreting it to everyone on the call today. Okay, so the processing of data to information is very germane, is important to every businesses, right? And let me add as well. Okay, let's just get there. Let's get there. Okay, we'll talk about now. Let's talk about type of data. What are datas, right? The type of data that we can have, right? And in this, I'm seeing people that once did machine learning class together, AI and AI class and all of that together. Okay, sorry, I'm in the chat room now. I've seen like 90. Okay, just 8 messages. Let me see what the messages are all about. Okay, okay, they're responding to my, okay, the audio is not smooth, sir. I don't know if I'm the only one. Please, at every turn, we can answer anybody. So this is a question directed to me, but if it is not smooth at your end, you can as well collaborate and let us know so that the moderator can reach out if you cannot, not in a position to reach out, right? So, all right. Thank you for that. Now, let's talk about type of data, okay? We have structured data and we have unstructured data. Yes, I was taking it to the people that joined AI class last section. I don't know when that was. I took some people on this call. I can see Robot. I can see Steven Omotayo on the call as well, right? We did a few things on data. We did few things on data structure and unstructured data, structured data and unstructured data, right? But now let me now break it down to, that's like in machine learning world, it is very important, right? So now let's talk about data, structured data. Okay.
Are you still trying to speak, Mr. Benga? We cannot hear you. Hello, Mr. Benga, are you there? Okay, I guess it was locked off the call. We will be joining back shortly. Please, while he's trying to join, make sure to fill the attendance form, please. Please let's exercise patience. Mr. Benga will be joining the call back shortly. Please let's all exercise patience. Let's give him a moment to join back the call. All right. While we're waiting for Mr. Winger to join us, please, so far in the session, if you have any questions about anything he has mentioned, talking about data, structured and unstructured data, please go ahead to unmute and ask, please. Okay, Jacob, you're asking if you have other courses, please visit our website for more details. So if you have any questions so far, if there's a place, if there's anything he has mentioned that we don't understand, please do well to ask for clarifications. Okay, we have our trainer back now.
All right, so good. It's still morning, right? So good morning, everybody. Give me a second. Let me switch this. All right, so good. What is it now? It's still morning. Good morning, everybody. I trust you're very well. I believe Benga is having some issues, so let me quickly jump in and take some portions of some of the things that he's going to be doing. He's going to be doing data management and information systems business strategies. Benga, are you here now?
Hello,
Do
doctor.
I
Yes, sir.
continue or are you here? What is happening to your internet?
Wait.
Right. So before you take over, I wanted to find out, does anybody know how to use Toad? Everybody, can you go online and type Toad like Toad for IBM? It's a tool for database modeling. I don't think anybody should be doing anything that's got to do with databases in this modern day without knowing how to use a tool like Toad. Another very simple tool is another one that we call Modelio. Can we look at those tools, everybody? Toad used to be free. The Toad for database modeling. I used to do a lot of database modeling myself, as I'm not even sure whether they've now taken it off. Toad modeler, yes. So it's the Toad modeler. I'm looking for the link. So can anybody help me to look for it? I think they've now turned it into a paid application. In those days, you could uh you could just use it, right? Let me see. You could just use it for modeling. And even if we don't get the opportunity to be able to do this exercise right now, I think one of the assignments, everybody, one of the assignments for all of us is how do we use the Toad modeler? Right? How do we use the Toad modeler? How do we do? There's a free trial. It's been bought by Quest. Let me put it in the chat room here. So let me put it in the chat room. Can anybody check online? Let me see if I can also share my screen so that we can all have a look. Maybe at some point in time, maybe after break or something, we can look at this. It's for modeling. All of you that are here, you should be able to model a database. Everybody that is here, you should be able to model a database. If somebody is here and you're learning information systems and you don't know how to use Microsoft Access, that will be one other thing. So who knows how to use Access here? Everybody, can I hear from you? There are about 26 of us here. In the chat room, quickly, who knows how to use Access? Maybe I'll have a competition. Who can beat me in the use of Access? Right? Who can beat me in the use of Access? Anybody? Let me ask quickly in the chat room. Let me hear from you, everybody, before I go, before I launch my competition, and then we will see. Who know? Okay, now quickly, everybody. Who are those? I need people to answer me. I have a lot of people on this call. You can't be quiet, please. I beg of you. So I need. Who are all the people that I have in this room? I have Ahmad here. Amaka, you and this your beautiful picture. Do you know how to use Microsoft Access? Amaka, you and this your picture. Ahmad Abubakar. Ahmad, you sound like somebody in Senate. Do you know how to use Microsoft Access? Ambassador Anthony, Enyoma, Essay, Esther, Fatima, Ferdinand, everybody go to the chat room. I want to hear from you. Benga, if people do not know how to use Microsoft Access, then there's a problem. There's a problem. Fatima, Grace, Ifeanyi, quickly, Joy, Lawal. I want to hear. And the people who say I know how to use Access, don't lie you, so that we will know, so that we know exactly how to help you. You know, ultimately, it's about you being able to get a great job. And if you know how to use Microsoft Access, right? If you know how to use Microsoft Access, you know how to use it on a scale of 1 to what? 10 being the highest, one being the lowest. Me, in those days, I could use it at what I'll say, let me say 8, right? Yes, I could use Microsoft at 7, 8. Now I'm sure that I would have dropped to 4, 5, but I'm certain that I will still make 5, all right? So, Edith and every Boma, can we look for the link that is on YouTube that we did for Microsoft Access, that our trainer did for Microsoft Access earlier in the year? Can we look for that link? It's important that we find that link. Everybody, Michael, you must know how to use Access. Esther, you must know how to use Access. Ambassador, you must know how to use Access. Amaka, you will not make it in IT. Right? These databases that they're thinking about, let me even try something. I hope everybody can still see my screen. Benga, what can you see on my screen? Anybody see my screen? Anybody?
Quest.
Oh, yeah, now. What can you see on my screen?
Quest.com.
Okay, no. So let me stop sharing and let me reshare. Good. Let me see. Everybody. So what do you have right now?
Your screen is blank. Okay.
Okay,
Blank.
access.
It has started
Good.
showing
You
something.
should be able to see Microsoft Access right now.
Yeah.
You should.
Yes,
Yeah, right?
Microsoft.
So
Yes.
so one of the things, I mean, this is fundamental. Like you cannot make, you could never be in IT if some of these fundamental things you're struggling with them. So for example, I can come in here. There is a Northwind database that is a sample database that exists. All developers, everybody that does application development, that does IT, they need to know about the Northwind database from Microsoft. It's a brilliant database that is pre-populated. So if I say create here now, it will try to create a database that has been pre-populated, pre-everything by Microsoft. So it gives you a decent idea of what does a database look like. And that's the beauty of Microsoft Access. It's got both the front end and even the back end in itself. So look at this now on my screen. You can see the Northwind database, right? There's a starter videos. Everybody, even before I go forward, because if you have a computer, can you go to your start bar and click on Microsoft Access? And when you click on it, you click on new and click on either new template or new database or new something. You know, sometimes people take these classes and they take them on their phone. You cannot learn this work on your phone. You can't. You can't learn this work on your phone. You will never get it. It's impossible. So you can't come to class. You're trying to get an international job. Then you're trying to become some kind of IT professional, and then you come to class, and in class you want to use your phone to learn. It will not work that way. Finger, I'm sure later you can do this uh, for everybody. CEO, all right. So the people, because you can't do this. So I can add me to the database. This is pre-populated. So you can see orders. Look at this when it says add a new order. This is what you're meant to learn how to do. How do you create a brand new form from scratch inside of Microsoft Access? Benga, sometimes the challenge with people like you is that you're very advanced. So if you are going to teach this, Benga will start to say, let us create what did they call it, front end, let's create this back end. But that is an advanced approach to it. You can start from the basics. And the basics will be that somebody can create a simple form, right? So, and then, so if I get out of because this is the end point of a form, and then they can add a new order, they can create an invoice, they can do this. Everybody that is taking this course, if you cannot use Microsoft Access, then you're wasting your own time. Not my time, you're wasting your own time. And it's important, Emmanuel, Benga, and all the trainers who are the ones driving these kinds of sessions, that some of these basics, we go through them with people. Because if you don't understand this, how are you going to even understand some of the advanced things that someone like Benga will be trying to teach to you? So once again, these are very important. These are very important things. You can create a table. You can create various parts of an application. Maybe we need to organize. What did they call it again? This Microsoft Access again. You can come here and say create a new form. How do I go about creating a brand new form, I can come back to this space, as I say, form design. How do I create a form design? How do I move each of these buttons? How do I move each of these things onto the canvas? What exactly do I need to do to be able to do this? Some of these things we have to go back to the basics. And if you don't understand Microsoft Access, everything that we're trying to do with information systems, you are not going to get it. It's not a curse, you will not get it because you don't understand what a simple database system that has got front end, has got the back end. How do you create a form? How do you put data into the form? How does the form data in the form get submitted to the back end? Once again, these are simple things that my assumption is that everybody that is here, you will know these things. What is a query? How do you use a query? You're trying to get ready for an international market. You want to work for MTN as an IT person. You want to go take up a job in a bank. How will you not know how to use Microsoft Access? It is information system 001. That's what it is. It's information system 001. If you come in here, you will see all sorts of pre-built system. So for example, everybody look at this student management system that has already been pre-built already. So you can use it to learn what is a student management system? What will be the components of a student management system? What will be the tables that you and I we will have in a student management system? So look at it. And that's the good thing about Microsoft. Even some of these things, they've already created videos and content for you to learn. This is not just for you to show up on Saturdays and get on your phone while you're watching TV and watching ball and say you're listening. If you don't really work on these things, you're not going to understand them. So I'm not the trainer. This belongs to Emmanuel and to Benga and to every other person that is here to be able to coach you people through the fundamentals. Our hope and dream is that in a short while, you will have a job, that you will have an IT job, that you'll be one of these people that they can outsource work from abroad to, and because you know what you're doing. All right. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know how we're going to deal with this, but I'm telling you, everybody, Benga, Emmanuel, everybody must know how to use Microsoft Access. If you look at it, we've even done a session. They put the link in the chat room. We've done a session and it's on YouTube. Where is it? This is Damola that led that session. And so why are we not talking about it? To ensure that everybody knows what exactly Microsoft Access is. Tables, forms, queries. We did this course, not another organization. This is our course, and it's on YouTube. Why hasn't Emmanuel and Damala shared this link and made it compulsory for everybody to learn it? All right, I rest my case. Mr. Benga, over to
All
you,
right,
sir.
thank you, doctor. Thank you, sir. All right, hi everybody. Welcome back. Apologies for that. Right. So, while looking at doctor screen, what do we see? Because before the internet thing happened, right, we're looking at structured and unstructured data. What do you see? You can see, let me just, cite an example. You can see a table with headers, right? I
Benga, maybe you
believe
should pull up
that's all.
access so that they can see it from your side. Because if you're describing it, some people cannot visualize it. I don't know if you've got access installed, but yeah, it'd be nice to actually walk them through so that the basic concept of what does a form look like, what does the table look like, what does a query, and you can always move it to another time so that it doesn't disrupt your class because we have some of these things on YouTube. And I would expect that it is compulsory that everybody goes to watch that video and everybody does a practical assessment so that we're certain that they actually understand Microsoft Access.
All right. All right, doctor. Thank you, sir. All right. Let me just share my screen so that start by sharing my screen. I won't show us access for today, but then we'll benchmark on what we've seen. Right. Please, can we see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, amazing, amazing. So yeah, we were talking about structured data and unstructured data, right? And earlier, just right now, if some people can visualize what we saw earlier, you will see that you have table with certain headers, the pre-filled data set from that Northwing data set that doctor showed earlier. You can see that you have data like a table, right? And then you have datas inside. You have the names, maybe a section for the names, a section for a particular thing, and another section for a particular thing, right? Did we all see that? Right? Anybody?
Yes, we did.
All right, amazing, amazing. So right there, right, that is a structured data because that data has a column for names and it is only names that is being filled in there, right? Citing an example on how we collect data from Zoom too, right? When the moderator was trying to collect your information, let's say your name, where you work, your email addresses, you will see that field, you will see that box field that says name here, email addresses here, your where you work here. You see, that is a structured data. It is telling you what you should input in that particular field, right? So at the back end, we now have a spreadsheet of those data where we have everybody's name aligned,
Benga,
right?
are
We
you
have
showing us something or is just your slide? Because all I can see is your slide that says types of data. I thought you were going to pull up access.
oh, okay. I wanted to put that for another class, not to
Okay, that's fine. No, no
for the time
problem. No
to load
problem.
and all
It's
of
just
that.
okay.
Yes.
All right, that's fine. That's okay. Sorry.
Right. So that is structured data in a sense. Now, unstructured data now is what I'm saying right now. Everything, all the information I'm trying to pass to across to everyone right now is unstructured data. There is no process document I'm following. There's not like let's say a structured. I'm not putting all of that. You see, my words are not even following each other. There's no okay. I have to say this first before I say this next before I say this thing, right? They are words, so it is an information. I'm passing it. So this information are unstructured. All right, until I have a table to now say, okay, for everything I'm saying, if I'm saying A, it should be under A. If I'm saying B, if I'm using any letter B in my words, it should be under B. If I'm using any letter C, it should be under C. But right now, everything is just coming out as it is. That's an example. That's an example of unstructured data. And then we still have examples like videos. Videos are not structured. All right, information you get from videos are not structured. The social media, it is not a structure field at all. You can be watching a reel and then it suggests another reel to you, maybe a funny reel to you, right? So all of these things are unstructured data. So those are examples of unstructured data. Can someone or anybody just give me more examples of unstructured data? I mean, I've talked about the information I'm passing across, emails, videos, and social media. What are the other examples of unstructured data that we've come across? Anybody? Hello? Radio FM. Okay. Can we hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
All right. Amazing. Amazing. Radio FM. Absolutely. Informations you receive from radio FMs are unstructured. That's an example. Great one. Please, anybody, Joy, give me one too.
So I didn't get the question. Could you recap, please?
Okay. I said you should give me an example of unstructured data.
Unstructured data. So I don't have a. So I don't have any.
Okay. Okay. I cited an example of the informations we receive right now. Now, structured data, what you should have at the back of your mind is that structured data, just the word implies structure. They are structure. They have headers. They are in a column. They should be like you're telling. They have specific places they should be. Right? That is structured data. They should be here, and it must be here. In example I cited, when you're filling any form, you will see first name, last name, email addresses. You don't go to where email address is and start filling your first name. It is going to reject it, obviously, right? So you have to put your email where email should be. That is structured data. Because at the back end now, when you have the data set, the database, you are going to see that on top of it, there will be a colon section, an header stating that this is first name, and every first name that everybody has imputed will be output there, right? You will be able to go through them and read through them. So the last name, you'll be able to look through them as well. The email addresses, you'll be able to look through all of this information. So that is structured data. Now, unstructured data is anything apart from that. Anything at all apart from that. If you go to the market, you're trying to negotiate something, negotiate the price of product with the market woman. That is unstructured data. Whatever you are doing right there, anything you are doing, passing information is unstructured data. When you are chatting with your friend on WhatsApp, right? All those informations you are passing through text and all of that, that is unstructured data. You're trying to browse the internet, that is unstructured data. You're uploading pictures. Pictures are data. We all know that by now. Videos are data. Any other information, anything that contains particular something, they are data, right? So you're trying to share your information online, show, maybe post your picture on Instagram or any your social media. Those are data as well, and they are all unstructured. So someone text-based informations like email, yes, social media posts, yes, audio files too, right? Those are unstructured data. Okay. I didn't know how to use it. Mary, what don't you know how to use?
That was for when Doctor asked if they could use
Oh, okay.
references.
All right. All right. Merci beaucoup. All right. So now that is structured and unstructured data, right? Now in structured data, we now have operational data, we have master data and analytic data. In operational data, these are the daily transactions we carried out. Let's say you want to buy, let's say you're a finance manager of an organization, and then you want to send an invoice out, right? You want to send an invoice, there is a sale in your organization, you made a sale, you are going to have that structure that this is the product we sell. I mean, you can't just say, "I will make a sale." Now that bit for more question like what type of sale? What did we sell in particular? In a situation whereby they sell a lot of baby toys, right? In a company where they sell a lot of baby toys, maybe it is toy car you sold. Which one in particular did you sell? Right? That is where structured data comes in. It has to be structured. Now, those type of structured data is called operational data, right? That's where we have this, okay, for particular, this is the name of the product, which is toy car. This is the amount we sold it for. This is the amount it's meant to go for. This is the profit we make. This is the net margin and all of these things, right? And there we have master data, right? We, apart from operational data, we have master data. We have core entities, the customers, the product, and the employee. All right. And then we also have analytical data. Now, analytical data is when you take your data, your structured data, the data you got, right? You took it to the advanced level, you turn it to information. All right. All of this data, the structured data now is an information as well because they are structured, right? But now you make it into an information in the sense that you now go ahead to analyze it to make it visual. Now, this is where instead of you having a table, having this is where student is, this is where class is, this is where this is where that is, right? Call me, let me do something. Let me have something come up now. Okay, give me a minute. Trying to pull up my Excel sheet. Maybe it'll be faster. But yeah, when you have when you have those information now with analytical data, you can now analyze it. You can now say, okay, for this particular thing, just looking at it structurally is like working with Power BI, Tableau, and the other visualization tool, right? With that, I can see that this data is for this particular thing. Why you're just trying to click away from it, trying to do one on the data, then you're getting your result. Okay. I'm coming. All right, so let's go ahead. That's lagging a little bit. So now we have data management framework. Now, one thing you should understand about data management framework that they are just a big word for how you govern your data. Framework itself is just a word for how you govern your data, a policy you put in place to manage your data. One of the policies that when you're collecting a particular form that you should put in place is you tagging it, you naming a particular field that this field is for first name and last name. This field is for email addresses. All right. These are frameworks you want to put in place to ensure that happens. Now, the good data management strategy. Now, when you have data, one thing you should have in mind is that people are always going to mess something up, right? When you're using Microsoft Forms that does not, when you're using Microsoft Forms to collect data, some things that Microsoft Forms do not do is that they, in the place of where phone number is, they do not put a kind of policy, right, to denote that don't put words where number should be. So sometimes people, when you collect certain forms, people will put word, they will put numbers where word should be, they will put words where number should be. So all of those data makes up, right? Where word should be, maybe where phone number should be, they will put their house address sometimes. Do you get that? So all of these things, there are errors on your data. Okay, you have to fix them. That is where good data management strategies comes in, because you have to fix this error to really drive an insight from your data, right? To make it insightful, to get to pass information from your data, right? You need to identify and correct inaccuracies. You need to resolve errors, standardize definitions as well, establish a clear and consistent data definition, like you using the first name, last name, and email addresses. Okay, so these are things you can put in place for your data, right? So we already made mention of Amazon data, how they collect their data, and how they process it. When I was explaining that you in Amazon, let's say you just using your phone and then automatically it picks information from your phone, right? When whatever information it picks from your phone, that is unstructured data. But now they really want to structure that particular data. How do they go about it? Right? Earlier, maybe some people joined later on the call, right? Earlier, we're talking about Amazon, making use of Spotify, for an example. Let's use Spotify. We're more familiar with Spotify in Nigeria or in African country, right? So let's use Spotify. With Spotify, let's say you're just trying to remember a lyrics, or you pass by where a lyrics a song was being listening to, and then you go further to ask, oh, I like this song, just the word I like alone, right? It is part of data collection strategy, their own data collection framework from Spotify. The word that you like a particular thing, that I like this song, who sang it, and then another data is being passed that okay, it is Whiskey song, and then you're like, okay, Whiskey, all right, I'll go and listen to it when I'm home. All right, all of these keynotes are informations. They are being collected by your browser because you've clicked on allow microphone on your phone, right? So now you go home and then automatically all of these informations are being sent to you. Microsoft send you, I said Microsoft, Spotify sent you a suggestion of that particular song. Then you're like, wow, how do you know? How do you know? How do you know? That is data for Spotify. That is still data for Spotify yet. It is not being processed. They just suggest it. They have not turned it to particular information. So until you now click, listen to that song, listen to it for 2 minutes. Just, let's say the music lasts for about 3 minutes, and then you were listening to that particular song for 3 minutes. I mean, the next thing they are going to do for you is to just suggest that same particular song, and you also need to listen to that other artist song or the similar songs. Believe me, that has turned to information for them. They now know that they are being informed that now they know the kind of songs you like. They know the kind of lyrics, the kind of gen of musics that you like, right? They now turn it to information. They are now making use of it, telling you that, okay, this is why we're suggesting this particular song to you because you love it. All right. But to you, maybe to a layman, not to you now, because you are being informed, you have the knowledge now, right? To another person now, when you ask them outside, they'll say, wow, no, these people are winch. They are looking at us, even our camera. They are looking us through our camera. They can see everything I'm doing right now. They are seeing how my head is moving. You see, that's for a layman. For you that you are being informed, that you have the data now, you have the information, you can now denote that, oh no, not really. It is because you allow certain features on your phone. You can as well go to the settings of your phone and disallow it. It is out there, or you browse through the internet on how you disallow it. All right. So now that's that for we saw Microsoft. That's why I said I should go back and explain that. I hope we'll still meet in class. I'm audible enough, I believe. So one thing that happened earlier
Yes,
was
you
that
are.
all right. One thing that happened earlier was that I did not even know I was off the call. I was still asking that, hello, is anybody there? Until I came back to the meeting and saw that my network has threw me out. All right. So, and that's why I'm asking. All right. So now let's go to decision-making frameworks, right? Intelligent. All of these things that we're saying right now on the call, you can see the structure, the course structure, this whole what's it called? This particular course you're trying to get certified in, this diploma course you're trying to do right now. You can see the structure, right? Today is for data management practices and framework. All right. Why after today you go into database management, I believe, and other information as well. But we won't jump into data management. We won't jump into how you do your data without you knowing the fundamental of what your data are, right? Of what all of this information is trying to do. All right. So that is why we're taking our time to do all of these things. So now you can now build ideas. You can build what data is in your mind. What is a structured data? What is a fine-tuned data? What is a fine-tuned data? I mean, a structured data as well, right? When you have unstructured data, you fine-tune it into a structured data. All right. So all of this information, right, you will be able to piece all of that together when you get to the practical section. All right. So now let's talk about the data insight. Okay. Now uh for future of technology, master data management. In healthcare, they collect data all the time, right? They will check your BP, they will write it down. Now they don't even write it down. The system automatically, when you fill in your forms on the internet and on the line online in the what's it called hospital or any healthcare services, right? They will know that. How do you think when you're using for women now, right? How do you think the I don't know what we call it. Please help me. Any women in the house? Let me call on Amaka. Right. So there is this period tracker, the period tracker for ladies that they have on their phones, right? Is it called period tracker? Menstrual tracker? I don't know. Is that what they call it?
I don't track my period anyway, but okay.
Sorry.
So,
But
because
it is. I'm still on the line, right?
yeah, you're still online, right?
All right.
Listening. I
All right.
think it's a
Thank you.
menstrual tracker, but I don't track
Menstrual.
anyway. Yeah,
Thank you.
because
Thank
you
you so
just
much.
know
Mm-hmm.
to give
Mm-hmm.
you
Thank you.
sign.
Signs. Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. Right. It will tell you, okay, it is going to happen in particular day, like maybe 3 days from now, and all of that. And then you find out that it is true that it's going to happen. And sometimes, you might get the false information and then it does not. But yeah, anyways, I'm not I'm not conversant with that. But what I'm trying to say is that how do you think they were able to predict all of those information? Right? That is because at some point in time, when you're filling that particular application form, when the ladies are filling that particular application, there's a section that say, what's your name? When last do you see it? Your certain thing? When last do you come across it? They collected all of your data. They process your data to pass information, right? So the first month, let's say now you've imputed your data, right? The first month, what they are going to do is that pedometer we can use. Okay, all right. We can use examples of a pedometer. Okay, so but let me just go ahead with this. So now when you collect all of those data, when they collect all of those data, they will now send you an information for a month. First month they'll send you an information like your something is going to come this month. And then if it is true, they will now send you another form that says, is it true? Rate your experience. Do you give us 5 star? All of this, they are collecting data. They are trying to be informed that, okay, they made the right decision. But if they did not, let's say they did not make the right decision first month and you feel this is wrong, this is this, they will readjust their what's it called algorithms to fit that particular need. I hope we're following. So that works for every application as well. Every application you go onto, when after filling particular forms, they will send you another form that says rate our experience. All of this rate our experience. They are trying to understand your data. Maybe what is being predicted follows your own um, the data, right? The data that you have. Now, let's talk about e-commerce as an example as well, right? E-commerce, you can just, say something with your friend. You're on e-commerce, maybe you're on Amazon, for an example. You saw a product and then you not even see the product. Maybe you're on the phone calling your friend and then you telling your friend that I need to get a washing machine for my brother. I really need a washing machine. And you're even more specific about the washing machine you need. You're like, I need the 5 kg washing machine and it should be iSense, right? I'll kid you not. The next thing you're going to see on Amazon, right, will be a 5 kg washing machine, which is iSense product, right? And you'll be like, I'm just saying this thing to my friend. Oh, how do they know? How did they? You see, it is not rocket science, right? It's just data being collected and being properly managed, being making use of, right? So, right, that's that. And then we have data management tools as well. We have data mesh, we have data fabric, and we have federated analytics, right? just as we have it earlier. Just as we have it earlier, the product, we have operational data. Earlier here, we have, let me go back to that. We have operational data, we have master data, and we have analytical data, right? That's what they are talking about here. In federated analytics, you have analyzed data without moving the central repository. So for the technologies now that we're going to use for that particular one will be federated analytics, right? That's where we analyze data, right? Now, when it comes to data fabric, you democratize data access across the organization. You have each data, maybe an organization that has a large, vast amount of data. Now you have collected data in various places. For Microsoft now, for an example, you're using Excel. You use Excel and Microsoft Word on Microsoft. Maybe there's a particular data that you fill before you use Excel, and a particular data as well you fill before using Microsoft Word, right? Now, one unique ID that you have in between those words, in between those applications, because they are same what's it called? They are different applications from the same company. So, but one unique ID that you have between those companies is your email address. Okay, your email address is the same email address you fill for Excel, is the same email address you fill for Word document. So they will now use that your unique ID to collate your data together. It's like you have data here, you have data here. They will now link it up together. You will see that when we start modeling data, when we start data modeling, right? When we start data modeling, you see how you will be able to link with your unique ID, that UID, to another data. It's like you're calling a relationship between data. All right. So we'll see that later in the course. Now let's talk about data architect, a career spotlight. Now, what can you be with, let's say you want to further career solely on data management, solely being a database manager personnel, right? One thing you can do is being data governance for an organization. All these principles, all these laws, all these things we are trying to put in place, these are um, policies. You see, policies, people come up with policies for an organization. You will be the one, when you're a data governance for an organization, you will be the one managing all of that. You see, setting policies that when you're collecting this particular data, this is the process it should follow. This is what you should have when you're collecting particular data. After collecting data, the life cycle of the data, it should not be more than particular day before you discard the data, right? Before you call the data non-void, right? So all of these things, you can be a data security compliance officer, you can be a database manager, a database manager management personnel, you can be back end, that you're now working with the developers, you can be a back-end developer, right? You're now working with the back-end developer, the writing of code, but for you, it is just data, right? Anything on the internet, we cannot do anything on the internet without data. Okay, now we'll talk about the business view of data as well. How maybe maybe some of us were working at particular organization, or maybe we have our handwork. Why data is important? Why right now you should be collecting data in wherever you are. We'll talk about that in a few times as well, right? So let's talk about master your data uh, to drive business success. Now, this is where we talk about how you should collect data, how you should master data to drive success. Okay, give me a minute. Okay. I'm coming. Want to share my entire screen. Please let me know if we can see my screen, my entire screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, amazing. Thank you so much. Now, when we talk about, we can see this slide, we can see this Excel sheet. This is an Excel sheet, right? You can see all of this information. Can we?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. Amazing. Amazing. I just want to be sure if I'm still sharing my entire screen. All right. Great. So yeah. And now looking at this document, looking at this information right here, what do we have? This is an organization, right? This is an organization. This is a Europa project. An organization. The name of the organization is Van Ades, right? Van Ades Limited. Now they have branches everywhere, but this particular project is for the Europa project. This particular data set is for the Europa project, right? Let's not talk about visualization at this part, because here we can now visualize the data. Okay, this is, it increased from the October to, from October 29 to throughout October 29, there was a lot of movement. We can see it in the chart right here, in the visualization right here. But let's not talk about that. Let's look at the data that we have right here. All right. Let's look at the data that we have right here. Now, according to this, okay, in some sense, at the end, before this data is being imputed, there is a data governance method in place, right? They've made sure that they collect data that they need. They don't just collect data anyhow. They don't ask for, okay, what's your first name? What's your last name? What's your daddy's name? No, they went straight to the point. You can see, you can, right now, we cannot even see whose name is this and all of that, but we can see assigned name here. All right. Now, this is Europa project. We can't, dwell more on what the project talks about, but let's just talk about what the data entails. All right. For this particular data now, we see that, sorry, okay, we're back there. So for this particular data now, we can see that the things they are really concerned about are what they collect. Now, we can see task. We can see a section for task. You can see that this section is for task. This section is for the assigned to. Now, this section is for the progress of the data. Now, the starting point of that data and the end date of that data, mind you, it is for a project. So this company is trying to do a project for, and the name of the project is Europa Project. All right. And when you have a project like that, you're going to assign it to someone, right? They didn't went ahead and ask, what's your daddy's name, your father's name, because they don't need all of those data. Things they are really concerned about is what is the task that should be carried out under this project. Who are we assigning these tasks to? What is the progress that the person have made over time? When is the start date and when is the end date? Okay, now for the task, let's look at it. We have defined goal, right? Now, GOG Asian is meant to define the goal. This is the task. Look at the assigned to. They assign the task to Asian. So it's the one to define the goal of the project itself. All right, this is the initiation phase. You can see planning and design phase. You can see execution phase, evaluation phase. All right, now the initiation phase. Sorry. Initiation phase, we have divine goals. Now, this is what now is like 50% done. When did she start so date, and she will be ending so date. All right. Now, for our own project, we can now see the visualization according to the date. We can see it right here. All right. So we can easily see that, okay, for Grace, you can see, right? You can see that Grace, she started date and she's going to end this date without even looking at this table right here. So that's the visualization usefulness, the
All right, everyone. I think his network knocked him off already. Please let's give him a moment to get back on the call.
Hello, we're back. Hello?
Yes, you're back. You're back, Mr.
All
Wenga.
right. All right.
Please reshare your screen.
Just switching between networks. God help us. God help us. We have to pass this information. This data must be processed. Please, can we see my screen?
Yes, your screen is visible.
All right, great. Sorry. Okay. I'm coming. Let me do all of this. So yeah, what I was saying earlier, showing that the Excel sheet to us is that when you have a data like that.
Sorry, Mr. Wenga, your screen is not visible now.
Oh, okay. Can we see now?
Yes, yes.
All right, great. Great. All right, so now, earlier, we made mention of data in our Excel sheet, in our Excel illustration. Okay, this is our Excel. Now showing this, we can now visualize this data because we collected the data that we really need for this particular purpose, right? We collect the data, we know the initialization what's it called phase, the planning and design phase. We know that we assign this particular project to this particular people. Now the execution phase, we know that for this particular project, these are the progress. So we don't need much data. We collect only data that are really necessary, right? We collect the necessary data. Oh. All right. We can still see my screen, I believe. So we collect the necessary data, right? Now that is where you can now drive a business success, right? Now in your business right now, I don't know whatever we do in an organization, what you even do within an organization that you work with, within the school, within anywhere you are right now, data is essential. Data is important. To build a company, you have to collect data. You have an idea, you have to ask people that is your idea going to work. Now, you will not just do it with word of mouth. You have to have a structural way of collecting your data. You have to collect important data. If you have a business idea right now, when you're pitching your idea, before you even pitch your idea to a friend, you want to really collect data concerning that particular project, because I mean, they must be battling with your, let's say, the what's it called, the idea is trying to solve a problem. Whatever idea, whatever business idea you've come up with is trying to solve a problem, a particular problem that is essential in the community, right? And this problem, you feel that your product is going to solve it perfectly fine. Okay, you go ahead and collect data concerning that particular idea. All right. So you go ahead and collect data. Now, what are the important things you need? You don't need their mother first name. You don't need their father's first name when you want to collect data concerning your idea. To really ask, let's say you have an idea that in a local government, when you sell fufu, or let me use for an example, when you sell sugar, it's going to go on very well. So in that local government, you want to look at people that are really dealing with sugar, that are really using sugar. Is there anybody baking flour, using, baking pop-off, using flour to, bake pop-off? Do they need sugar, right? In that community, you want to know if there's anybody like that. In that community, you want to know if maybe people drink a lot of gari in that community. So these are data you want to collect, right? You will go ahead and distribute your form. Now, what you want to have in your form in collecting your data are not just your last name, your father's name, your mother. No, 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 no. You don't need all of that. The essential data you want to collect are what? What are the what's it called? Help me here. What business do you do? Right? What is your business? Now they will state their business in between, or you can have a pre-filled form, or you let them state whatever business they do. How do you think sugar can help you in your business? How much do you buy sugar as of right now? How do you think it will be cheaper? Do you think you should get it cheaper? Do you think it is too expensive? All of this information is what you really want to collect. Now, when you collect all of those information, what do you want to drive out? You want to know how much you'll be selling your sugar. You want to know people that are interested, people that you should supply to. Now let's take that to reality, the business, what we do as an allied personnel, work in an organization and all of that, right? You're good at what you do. And that is why HR as of today, they always get feedback from employees. They will send you satisfactory form to fill. They will ask you certain questions like, are you satisfied where you are? Is the job role according to your, will you still be with us for the next 5 years and 10 years to come, right? All of this information, they are trying to collect it to really learn that, okay, how can we improve our services? How can we drive a business success? So that is business success in some sense. And that is what Domino and other big organizations have been doing, right? They see a problem and they try to fix it. Now, trying to fix a problem is not just collecting random data. You're not just collecting a bunch of data. You're collecting data that are specific to that need. All right. For Domino, as an example, it's a competitive fast food, right? And they're like, okay, what can we do? We sell pizza. How can we get it to people at home? We need to get it to everybody. They started with opening stores, right? They open stores every corner, but they're like, it's still not enough. People are lazy to come out. Let's do what? Let's have an application to drive these sales. And that's what we have here in Nigeria as well. We have somebody help me with this fast food site delivery. Anybody? Any fast food that we know?
Cont'd.
Thank you so much. Chowdeck, yes, Mary, thank you as well. Right? So these are problems they are trying to solve, and you see their advert online. Right now, maybe at the end of the section, if your phone is with you, you will realize that you might be getting what's it called? An advertisement on Chowdeck install child there, get free food for first 3 days. Did you get me now? So these are, informations you've already pre-filled and all of these things, right? And sorry, what we're saying right now, rather, I come again on that, right? The informations the through the mic, what they're listening to, what you've allowed your application to listen to right now. When you try to watch maybe a YouTube video, you will see that adverts. I'm very sure you're going to see it in some sense, right? So these are informations, these are data being collected, right? Now let's come back to what problem solving is. Now to solve a problem, there should be a challenge. There should be a reason why you're trying to solve a problem. So you have to know what the problem is, and then you find a solution to it, right? You know the best and structural way to go through in solving the problem. All right. Now let's talk about how data has been collected over time. We have a traditional way of collecting data, right? Before the internet, before people start putting files online, having one cloud, you can now have one cloud on your phone, have it on your PC, just pay for the space and then you're good. Your iCloud and all of that. Before now, people always write, when you go to an organization, maybe the bank, for an example, the financial institute, for an example, when you go to the bank, you have to fill out, they will ask you, what's your first name? At the what's it called? At the desk, when you enter, immediately you enter, the admin person will ask you, what's your first name? What's your last name? Nowadays, we don't even see any admin person at the bank anymore. If you notice very well, there's no admin at the bank anymore. Now, nobody is sitting at the corner, except the security guys opening doors and all of that. But before now, right, there was an admin person seated at the bank collecting. Next, what's your name? What do you come to do? What are you here for? Collecting all of these details, all of this information, right? The traditional way is you have a physical book, a physical store, you store all your data in it. That's a traditional way of doing things. But now data has evolutionized everything. Digital has evolutionized everything. The internet, I mean, right? So the internet is out there. You can, store your data and then retrieve it, derive insight from your data whenever you need it, right? So there are a lot of possibilities, right? There is AI nowadays to give you a fresh insight on data. All right. So that's another one. We have Under Armour Bold Move. We have sports apparel brands. We have new visions and digital transformation, just like what we have here for transformation of data through technology. A lot of things has evolved. Now, the next level, the next phase of data that we are looking at right now is the what you call the AI, right? AI will let you really think. You don't need to bother yourself. Nowadays, you don't even need to go out there, start collecting data if it is going to work. People are, getting suggestions from people. AI can just do everything for you anyways, right? You can input your business idea, tell it your location. You can even tell it your location and go to the internet, copy a Google Map link, right? Tell it to tell you that how many people are on this um on this map, on this particular section of the map, how many people are doing the same business as you. Okay, now when you get that out, if nobody is doing the same business, you can as well go further and tell it that for this particular link as well, for this particular section of the Google map, I want you to tell me people that might be interested in my product, right? With That's with AI. Now it's not you asking questions, you sending out what to call sending out forms, trying to meet them, trying to give them forms. Please try help me to fill this form. I beg in the name of God. It's very essential. Nah, you see, you might still need to, to get their real insight, right? Like, how much are you going to be selling your product for? How much are your competitors selling it? Where they are getting it before? How much are they getting it for? right? You might still need to. Okay, don't get me wrong, but life is now easier with the use of AI, adopting the use of AI. All right, so that's another thing that's the evolution of technology in a sense. Right now, let's talk about the improving business IT alignment. Right, how that helps in improving business IT alignment. Now, it's prioritize communication, strengthen governance, develop skills, and align architects. Right now, prioritize communication in the sense that it foster dialogue and partnership. When you collect data, when you have data, you can, like, you going to them, meeting them physically, collecting particular data, or maybe sending them forms to collect the essential data that you need to thrive in that business. Right, it's foster dialogue and partnership in the sense that you cannot tell, okay, for this particular person, are we really going to do business? Right, is this something I can, maybe they said they are getting it lower than the amount you can go for in your business. Is this person someone you are going to sell to, or you are just going to use the data you've collected as an insight to really drive another things, or maybe think of another idea to really drive it in another sense, right? So that's parts that's that for that. The takeaway that we have here now, what does data, collecting data through the technological age that we have right now, what does it do for us really? Right, what is the benefit? Right now, when you collect data, you don't just do business for doing sake. Okay, you don't just go into business without knowing what you really want to do in the business. When you're collecting data, you will be informed. All right, you can transform it into an information. You'll be informed. That's what an information is. You'll be informed a particular thing in this location. Okay, they are really going to buy my product. If you know the quality of the things you have to do, the quality and the quantity as well. If you need to do in a large quantity, you won't just go into it, without having an idea. In my place of work, I was told that there was a lady that sells that opens a Calabar kitchen around that area. I was told that she collected that place for a larger sum amount of money, right? She rented that shop for a larger sum amount of money. But unfortunately, she could not thrive there. Why? That's because she did not collect necessary data. That's a secluded area. That's like a very reserved area. People are in their offices. They are doing their businesses, right? What is your strategy in coming to meet them? The first thing I feel the person should do is to what? Go into that institute, each organization, right? Are you with me, guys? What should be the first person the person should do, right? You enter into each organization, tell them what you do. All right. Part of the data you want to collect, the person will be able to collect is what? Right? What is their favorite meal for lunch? What is what they like for breakfast? Okay, what are they comfortable with? Would they be eating eba for lunch, or they prefer fried rice and chicken? Okay, so these are informations that they are insights we drive from data, from the collection of data. All right. So, and other things like that, anything you could think of. Okay. Now let's talk about e-commerce. Oh, okay, we've made mention of e-commerce. We've touched on e-commerce a couple of times, right? Now, how does this is subscription model for Netflix, Spotify, and Amazon Prime. We people that we use Netflix or we use Spotify for our product, how well do you subscribe? Now, this is another model in how they know your what it call, how they monitor your behavior using each application. How often do you even use the application? Did they do you put your card on auto subscribe, or you manually have to go there and say, okay, let me buy this product for this month. I don't really need it. I don't really use it. Now, there are various models on how you can collect data, right? Are you to pay regularly, or do you want to buy, are you to pay monthly, sorry, or do you want to buy all of it at once? Do you want to use a monthly subscription to answer your product, right? So there are various ways. There are various ways that organization collect information, that they collect information from clients, particular product, and all of that. All right. So we've touched more on e-commerce and other businesses. I want to go to, there's another, okay. Yeah. Now let's talk about business process management. How do you manage your business process? Now, the first thing is the input, right? From the input, you have resources, and then you have output, your final product. But what is the input? Input are part of the data. As we already talked about this, we talked about how you collect data from businesses, right? And the resources are the people you have to, how you collect your data. First thing is how you collect your data, and then you need resources, you need tools to carry out your business processes. Now, the tools you use, maybe you're going to use Microsoft Forms to collect your data. You're going to use, you need people to now start distributing flyers out to collect your data. All of these are information you want to collect. I hope my background is not that noisy, please. We can still hear me well. Right? Am I still on the call? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. All right. So now that is business processes. You collect, we already talked about this, right? I'm just emphasizing on what we talked about, right? The input, you have to know the type of data you want to collect. You want them to input. The resources are, what is your strategy? Are you going to be using Microsoft Forms? Are you going to be using Google Forms? Whatever tool you are going to use to perform the activities. Is it people that you would need to use as your resources to distribute flyers and all of that? Right, all of these things are what we talked about, and we've emphasized on each and every one of them. Now, yes, let's talk about agile methodology. Now, in agile methodology, businesses or software, let me say software, right? Agile methodology is mostly used in software development. It's like a life cycle, right? It is a methodology, it's a framework the software development follows, right? But in this sense, I believe we can use it for business processes as well, because a business can also be a software application. An application, maybe a mobile or a website, any application as well, right? You might have an idea to build an application that helps particular people in certain organization. Maybe you have the idea of a child deck, the child deck idea, right? You can tell it, okay, this is my idea, but then you have to follow agile methodology framework, right? The first thing you have to do in agile methodology framework is to know your continuous process. You gather feedback, not the first thing, but continuous activities that must be performed when using agile methodology is you keep on gathering your feedback. Okay, we're still on the call. Yeah, we're not going for break. Actually, our break should have been for 12 to 12:30. So I'm trying to round up for, we've already talked about everything here, but the ones that we don't talk about in each of the section is in each of the slide is what I want to pick up for us, right? So I've passed information, I've passed the data. Now you've processed it as an information. You making good of you making the excellent use of it is the important part of the class. All right. So now let's talk about the agile methodology. You have to know this because when you go further in the data management, in database management and other furthermore in this course, in this diploma course, you see that you do a lot of things concerning agile methodology in how you collect your data, how you constantly receive feedback on data you collect. That is why until today, Microsoft and other big organizations, they always collect constant feedback. At the end of this call, you will see that this is not magic. It's so you will see that the moderator is going to tell you that there is a feedback form. Please help us to fill the feedback form. That is constant development. They adopt the use of agile methodology, right? Agile methodology framework to know how they will better service everybody, right? They will know that, for instance, me as a trainer, right? My network went off a couple of times. Some people say they cannot hear me, right? These are ways for them to know how to better serve us next time, right? Let's say going further, they will know that they will have to reach out to trainer. Hey, trainer, please be where your network is good, be where you can really hear, where you can really speak. Your background is a little bit noisy, we cannot even hear what you are trying to say, and all of these informations, right? That is whatever you feel in your feedback is what they will use to improve their services going forward. That, in a sense, is called agile methodology because it's a continuous process. When you come on onto the next section as well, the next Saturday, they will still send you another feedback form. It is being collected over time. Always, they need to improve their services because they are in the game for a long time, not a short time. So that's why you need to really, when it comes to business, drive change. All right, constantly drive change. Okay, now we want to talk about BPM challenge. Okay, yeah, we need to see what BPM is before we talk about. Like I said earlier, we looked at BPM being a framework. And what did I say framework was earlier? Right? I said framework is just a big grammar for a process, a more structural process of doing things. Like you have a process of doing particular thing. That's just, we won't even look at what. So we just look at the challenges that it face, right? Common challenges, common BPM challenges, resistance to change, lack of resources. Sometimes, right, when you want to follow maybe that such framework, one thing you might lack is maybe the time, the resources to really carry out the particular task, right? Maybe you have technology issue, you don't have each technology to really integrate into your system. Let's say, for an example, the woman that was trying to open a Calabar shop, a Calabar store at where my workplace is, right? That did that and failed. She did not really have the technology. I don't know, maybe, but I believe she did not have the technology to really pass the message across, right? One thing you should do is maybe go ahead to Microsoft Forms, get the forms, and then, you know, do all of these things properly. Now, poor communication skills as well, unclear goals and expectations. Maybe at some point the owner does not have a clear goal what they really want to do. They just felt like, we have money to invest, let's invest, and they went up and they end up wasting all the resources, right? So these are common challenges that BPM faced. Right now, the best practice for success, you start small. It is important to start small. No matter how much you have, it is important that you start small. Because you don't want to, let's say, for instance, I'm still going back to that the woman that opened fast food at my workplace, right? So let's say that woman, she, instead of her just, renting a whole shop, a whole workspace for her food selling, what if she just brought a container, right? Place it somewhere that she's been allowed to place it on, right? Just brought out a container, starting small. Instead of, spending a whole lot of money trying to rent a shop that is not going to even yield anything, you always start small. just do a little quantity amount of food. Check it out for first 3 week, right? Now, that's another thing. Another thing is you involve stakeholders. You let people get involved. You let people, other parties get involved. Stakeholders in the sense of you involve, I'll still go back to the fast food woman, right? Now, you involve stakeholder in the sense that me as a person, I'm a stakeholder, right? She has to involve me. Now, stakeholder in this sense is not that I contributed money for our business or anything like that. No, that a stakeholder can be anybody that is trying to buy your services in your organization. Your customer can be your stakeholder. Me, I'm a potential stakeholder for her, but I did not get any, any form of reaching out to you. Didn't She did not get me involved. You involve your stakeholder, right? Now, the next thing they have to do is to measure results. To measure result, okay, this is where we are. So right now, this is the amount we've made today. This is the amount we spent on coming year. This is the amount I paid my employees, right? You calculate, you measure your KPIs, show your improvement, right? And continuous improvement. You do that by collecting feedbacks. Forms, data are important. To really drive change in a business, data are important. Getting insights from data are important, right? And we've talked most on all of this. We've touched most on all of this. Okay. Now, steps to get started, when it comes to business, you want to define your contest. You want to define your contest. You want to define your goal, your business goal, right? What you really want to get out of the business and all of that. This is coming to business frame. All right. What you really want to get out of the business. Do you really want to, establish this for community purposes? When the Transformation College people were establishing this organization, they want to serve the community. That is their main purpose. They are currently serving the community. They are currently serving the world globally, right? With just, creating a free training, a diploma in information security, in information system, right? So all of these things, you want to define your goal. Now, what is the framework they choose? I can teach you in the process with looking at their structure, how they go about delivering their services and all of that. Their framework is agile methodology, right? Because they always do a continuous improvement. A continuous feedback is being done below, right? They get feedback all the time from the participants. You as a person, you as a stakeholder, they get feedback from everybody. Now, engage stakeholders. You're constantly being engaged. I'm very sure of that. Because at some point I heard, getting started for the meeting, the moderator said that there is a WhatsApp group that you should be had on, information will be shared and all of that. So you're being confined into a group, and then they share information regarding the class. They engage you all the time. If you have any problem, they are going to sort it. Somebody said they were not able to click the last meeting link, right? And what does the moderator said? We'll reach out to you on the group. We'll send it again on the group. That communication is being done. They engage the stakeholder. I hope I'm still communicating. Okay, my people are still here. All right.
Yes, we're with you.
All right. So now the next thing is start small and scale fast. Whatever you do right now, I believe right now for Transformation College, they are scaling fast because constantly they collect feedbacks. Data is important. You cannot even do anything without data. They have to collect the data. Before now, they only have participants in Nigeria and Ghana, right? But some classes I took sometimes back, I've seen people from Mali, from Uganda, from Kenya, different part of the country. I've seen people joining from the UK, right? I've had conversation with most of them. And then I'll ask, where do you join from? UK, Uganda. So that is scaling, expanding their reach. And they can only do that with data if they are able to satisfied the current people they have. When they start small, with Nigerian people, are you being satisfied with this particular thing we are trying to do? How can we improve it? Through data collection, through all of this means. All right. So that is part of it as well. Data is important. Collecting data is important, and transforming that into information, into a meaningful and insightful information is very important. All right. Now, the key takeaways you should know is that innovation is essential for business success, right? You have to be innovative. You have to include technology in whatever you do. When you're collecting your data, make sure that you're using one technology or the other, right? Like the Microsoft Forms, Google Forms, and all of that. Make sure you're collecting your data using technologies, because that itself, you cannot drive insight from the collected data, right? And the next thing you want to do is to follow the process: initiate, develop, implement, and exploit. That's the process. Now, initiation phase, you want to know, okay, you define your goal, the context, all of this necessary information, like we have here. All right, this is the initiation phase. They define goal, they conduct studies, they do establish communication, they develop charters, they set up a team for it. Now, planning and design, that's what we have as what? Oh, sorry. That's what we have as develop. Okay. Now, they want to plan, they want to really do this thing, they want to develop. Now they create a schedule, they identify deliverables, develop budget and other things, right? And now you choose an approach which you want to go. Now, sorry, you implement that idea, all of these things you've initiated, the development, right? Now you initiate it. Now exploiting it is you trying to maximize the use of that particular thing that you have here. Let's say evaluation. Now you want to monitor your progress, you want to track. It's based on the data you've collected, right? Track whatever you've done, gather feedback. You can see you cannot neglect that particular thing, right? You gather feedback. Data are important, right? We can see the use of data in innovation, use of data in follow up. Now you choose you choose an approach, right? You choose a particular framework. Let me use framework for an example, right? And then you learn from examples. There are big organizations that is trying to do what you're trying to do, a new ideas. Right now, if you ask me though, I don't think there are new ideas anymore. We are just all trying to modify what is currently available. Out there in the world, there is no new idea to me anyways, but we are trying to modify everything that is available. You're seeing a problem you want to fix. You're saying, okay, for this application, for WhatsApp right now, what does okay, yeah, let me tell you a real life story. There was a time that I was telling a friend of mine that what if WhatsApp can even, you can share, since they are all Meta, Facebook, Instagram, and other Meta application, Thread, right? What if you can share story from across every WhatsApp application, right? And then my friend said, wow, it's a great idea. It's a good idea. Then I reached out to a couple of other friends as well. I sent out forms to them. What if you have an application that can share story across all of this application? I was including other application as well, like LinkedIn. Once you post on your WhatsApp, you can now click on share to this, share to this, share to this, share to this to enable that feature, right? I have that idea in my mind. I'm like, I'm going to build a software that really tackle that part of the idea. If I tell you that less than a month, I went on while updating my what's it called, my WhatsApp. And I saw that feature being implemented. I'm like, God, Jesus. Do you understand now? So that is it. Like, there's ideas on the, on the go already. But one thing they have not done yet is, integrating with other socials. Like, they only consider Meta alone. So we have LinkedIn, we have TikTok, we have Snapchat and other application. So in my own idea, I'm integrating every one of it. But then I don't think I'll be going through that idea anymore because it's well, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, that is it. You're trying to modify a new ideas, right? You're trying to modify new ideas, and when you're trying to you're trying to modify an existing idea. Your new idea is you just trying to modify an existing idea. So you learn from examples, you learn from what the big organizations have been doing, right? Your competitors, as we call it. Okay, what your competitors have been doing. All right. So that for the section today. That is all for the section. Do we have any question, please? That's the end of the slide, and I believe the slide will be shared across to everyone on the section. Do we have any question? Any at all? Please ask me any question. Stephen Omotayo, hello sir, how are you doing today? I've not heard anything from you. Stephen Omotayo. Okay. All right. Amaka, are we understood?
Yes, I understand most of the things you said. And for the Microsoft access he was talking about, the only thing I would like to ask is, I've seen the video that was posted. So if we go through the video, you see that we're going to understand everything he's saying about Microsoft access. If we go through the video and practice everything that is being said, because I saw what was posted and I think I clicked that video. So I'm going to study it all through today. Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. Okay, so the video that was posted is actually an insight into Microsoft Access. It's almost 2 hours video. So please, when you get on it, I'm sure you're going to get ahead on Microsoft Access. Please, everybody, let us appreciate our trainer. Let's appreciate our trainer for today, Mr. Olugbenga. Ajewole. That was really, really great. And yeah, Mike. Okay, Lawa, please, do you want to speak?
Yes, I want to say something.
Go ahead,
Hello.
Laura.
Yes, I appreciate the lecture. It seems, Mr. Lawa, it seems like you're on probably using your TV or some other device that is disturbing the sound. Okay, let me see. Hello.
There is an echo in your background, anyways.
Hello. Maybe because we are two in the class.
Oh, okay. All right.
And we are
You're
using
okay.
Okay,
So
Mr.
someone has
Lawa,
to.
please, you can type in the chat box.
Okay, all
You
right.
have a echo in the background, so please chat in the chat box.
Hmm.
All right, so please let's
I would
appreciate
have
our
really
trainer.
loved to hear from him.
Okay, let's wait for his comments on the chat box.
All right. All right. Do we have any question? I hope we understand what data is, what information is. and how you can differentiate between the two. What structural data is and what unstructured data is. Give me your feedback, please. Let me hear you. If I ask us to rate our understanding on this particular field, what data is, what information is, what structural data and unstructured data is, I want us to rate ourselves 1 over 10, like from 1 to 10. What is it going to be? Right? Amaka, if you allow me.
I won't give myself a 10 yet now because I'm still learning.
Still
So I won't
learning,
give
yeah.
myself, yes, I can't give myself a 10. Maybe I'll give myself a 3.
A
While I
3?
still, yeah, I
Okay.
won't say 10 years because I'm still mastering what you're teaching. And I won't say I'm an excellent student yet. I have to go through the video over and over again. At least I am sure by Monday the videos will be posted as we keep going through. And
Yeah.
the doctor that came in also made us, he threw us off balance by making us realize that we still have a lot to learn. So
Yeah.
I can't give myself a 10 yet. But so
Yes.
far, everything you've said, I understand. I still
Okay.
have to go. That's just what I have to say anyway. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Yeah, I'm happy that you understand. And one thing you should know is that everything that is said will still be taught in class, right? Everything. Don't be thrown off balance. Don't feel like you have been thrown off balance. So everything that you made mention of, from the data management to how data is, how you collect your data, the practical section, you will be taught in on the section. Right now, this is like a prerequisite going into the practical field, going into the core. Right, don't be thrown off balance.
Okay. Hello. Sorry. Can you hear me? You are saying that everything you're teaching us, there'll be a practical class for you because you're still, everything that is being taught now, we are still learning it English based. We've not seen the practical aspect of everything that is being taught yet.
Yes, that's right. The class today was just a theoretical introduction to data. So in subsequent classes from next class, it will be practicals.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes. Lawa, please, we're still waiting for your comment on the chat box before we put an end to the class. Lawa, please, if you can hear this, please drop your comment in the chat box. All right, nice to have you, Ferdinand. Nice to have you. I hope you're on the WhatsApp group. The material for this class will be posted there, and at the same time, the link to the recording would be posted. So please let's endeavor to check the group often. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was really insightful. Thank you, Mr. Gbenga, for taking us through. Like I said, we'll be going through practicals in the next class. Okay, Lawa, you can. We really appreciate the organizer and the trainer. However, as mentioned, I cannot be. Okay, please, the link, the YouTube link we will posted, you can get through on the class then. All right, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. We have the feedback form in the chat box. Please endeavor to fill that in. Let's know what we can do better. Let's know how we can make these sessions better. So please, everybody, when you're done filling, please just chat done in the chat box. Please chat done when you're done filling. All right, thank you, Ferdinand Don. Please chat done when you're done filling the feedback form. All right, Stephen, Joseph, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please endeavor to join back the class early next Saturday, 10 a.m. as usual. Thank you so much, everybody.